G'day, welcome to Navadia. This video is the third installment in a bite model breakdown I did with Grumpy Old Dude about his former cult. It's a religious atheist church which was once called the World Church of the Creator, but now goes by Creativity Alliance. It is a white supremacy hate group, so yeah, they're kind of not the most pleasant of people. I just want to mention to anyone about to jump on the keyboard screaming, "Aha! See, atheism is a religion!" Wah! It is mentioned in the interview that no, atheism is not a religion. It cannot be any clearer. I've mentioned this before. Atheism is not a religion. This church is an anomaly in atheism, just like how the Westboro Baptist Church is an anomaly in Christianity. It is not representative of atheism. Just saying it again. It is not representative of atheism. I'm just making this super clear. Just to let you know, I have actually edited this interview. It was only really to take out the ums, ahs, and you-knows and all that stuff, so nothing's actually been taken out of context. Letting you know just for the sake of transparency. Hey everybody, and I just want to introduce you to the wonderful, the lovely, the ever amazing, grumpy old Suzanne. Georgette.
Hi, everybody.
Frederica. So, for everyone who doesn't know the joke, I can never, ever remember Ed's name. Well, I can, clearly, now, but when we started talking, there is also another person called Grumpy Old Dave rather than Grumpy Old Dude. And, of course, my brain kept calling him Dave, so now it's our personal joke that I call him whatever other name I want to. Margaret, whatever.
Yeah, because
anyway,
Dave's still not here, man.
No. You are clearly not Dave or Ed. Suzanne, who are you? And where can we find you? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, I am the Grumpy Old Dude. I have my own YouTube channel where I talk about many different things, but I try and focus mainly on hate groups because I am a former white supremacist. So it is my little niche in YouTube to debunk racism and hate groups.
And we definitely need that nowadays. So we've already done the B and the I in the bite model, which is what we're doing. We're breaking down the bite model. And if you haven't seen them, I've linked the links in the description below. So go check them out. Also, obviously, go and check out Amanda's wonderful channel. Of course, links to his channel below as well. If you don't know what the bite model is, it has been made by Stephen Hassan. He did it kind of like a checklist to see how much of a cult something is. And unfortunately, your previous atheist religion is very clearly a cult, as we have discovered in the past couple of videos, but you never know. The next two might be entirely different. Basically, he's got this checklist. He sort of makes a bit of like a continuum where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think he uses 1 being the least powerful and the 5 being the most powerful. However, I've decided to steal Telltale Atheist's idea of making it the Fibonacci sequence because it takes a lot more effort to go up to the next level. And by making it harder to go up to the next level, it's a little bit more clear cut. So we're going to do 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. Just in case you're wondering why the hell am I just saying random numbers, that's the reason why. Unfortunately, I was about to go onto the Freedom of Mind website. Unfortunately, something's happened to the website. I think it's been hacked because all of this spam comes up. So I've decided to try and hunt down the Freedom of Mind bite model online. I've found an image. I don't know if it's up to date or whatever it is, because of the fact that the website has been hacked. We are going to be going through the T in the bite model, and then later on I will be releasing the E as well. So just in case you're wondering what's going on. So what's your religion or ex-religion, or what were you a part of? What was the thing that you were a part of?
creativity is a religion that was started by Ben Klassen in 1973. It is an atheistic, white supremacist religion. Um, Again, this does not mean that atheism is a religion. This is an anomaly in the atheist community, and this religion believes that their race, specifically the white race, is their religion.
So for the first part, the thought control is black versus white, us versus them, good versus evil thinking.
I looked over this, and a lot of this does apply to the creativity religion, but not all of it. I was a little bit surprised. A lot of this definitely brings back different things that creativity would push upon its members.
What would you say? Can you give an example?
Yeah, they definitely push the us versus them. And, one of the key things in this religion is one of their tenets is what is good for the white race is the highest virtue. What is bad for the white race is the ultimate sin. They try and use this, to make you think only about your own and no one else.
On the sequence, what would you say it would be?
I would have to go fairly high on this, but I don't want to go too high because some of the things in thought control don't apply to creativity. So kind of bouncing back and forth between 8 and 13. I want to say 13, but again, not everything in Stephen Hassan's model fits creativity. So yeah. I guess we'll go on the even side here. We'll call it an 8 for now.
From what I said in previous videos is that we should try and go low just to be fair, and it will come out in the wash. I just have to say you make a really good point because you said that creativity doesn't actually apply a lot to Stephen Hassan's bite model. And the thing with the bite model is it doesn't have to tick all the points. I mean, if all of the points are like a 2 or a 3 in the bite model, but has 1 or 2 21s, that could be enough to make a cult. We have had a lot of 13s and 21s in the previous ones, so I think if we do go and err on the side of caution, because I'm sure there's some interesting conversations stories that you will be able to tell me a bit later on might push a 13 or a 21. For thought control number 2, we have change your identity, possibly even your name.
Yeah, so with creativity, they don't ask you to change your name or your identity per se, just the way you identify as a white person. They want you to be a loyal white person to your race and kind of have that warrior mentality, but they don't ask you to change your entire identity. So I'd have to go pretty low on that, maybe even as low as a 2.
Thought control number 3, use loaded language and cliches to stop complex thoughts.
Yeah, now that one's definitely going to be higher up. That's going to be a 13. Everything within this religion, organization, whatever you want to call it, is propaganda. Everything they feed you, it's pseudoscience, false history, Holocaust denial. They want you to believe that everything is run by this Jewish cabal that owns the world and controls all the world's governments, and their sole purpose is to eliminate the white race, and you have to fight back or you're going to disappear. So that's definitely going to be a 13.
Thought control number 4, induce hypnotic or trance states to indoctrinate.
Okay, we're obviously looking at 2 different things.
Okay, cool. Induce hypnotic or trance states to indoctrinate?
They don't do hypnotic trances or anything like that. Creativity does not believe in any sort of esoteric beliefs, I guess. And that would kind of fall under, according to creativity, that would fall under, a foreign belief. They don't do hypnotic states or anything.
Okay, cool. So that's a 2?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what's yours saying?
Number 4 on mine is encourage only good and proper thoughts.
Okay, just a little bit of a thing because of what I said earlier, that there was a hack into the freedom of mind. Suzette and I are actually going off 2 different bite model things. So unfortunately, they're going to see a little bit of a weird kind of multiplications of numbers and stuff, because we're going to be using 2 different bite models because, why not make things difficult? Bite model thought control number 4, encourage only good and proper thoughts.
That depends. They encourage you to have good and proper thoughts as far as yourself being a white person. And they encourage you to think highly of your own race and only your own race. I'm not sure how to take this one because I don't think that's a good and proper thought, but it is, according to them, the good and proper way to think. I suppose we should consider that a 5?
Thought control number 5. Hypnotic techniques are used to alter mental states, undermine critical thinking, and even to age regress the member.
That would be a 2. They don't believe in, hypnosis or age regression. They don't really want to alter your mental state because this religion does not believe in altering your state of mind through, any kind of outside chemicals such as drugs or alcohol. They are very health conscious. They do not believe in any kind of esoteric beliefs. Hypnosis would probably fall under that. So we'll give that a 2.
Give it a 2?
Yeah.
With age regression, that kind of means like making grown adults do childlike things. So, for example, the Mormons would go out on a date to draw on the sidewalk in chalk, for example.
Yeah. Creativity definitely does not do that. They kind of want you to progress faster if you possibly can. They want teenagers to grow up and be hardy men because in ancient times you were considered a man, around the age of 13 or 14. So this religion wants you to be strong and tough and a good grown-up for your race. So yeah, I'll stick with the 2 on that.
Thought control number 6. Memories are manipulated and false memories are created.
No. Again, I'd have to go with a 2. They don't try and, make you change your memories. It's pretty much they just try and get you to change the way you think about your education through public schools or accepted science, but they definitely don't try and implant false memories or anything like that.
Thought control number 7, teaching thought-stopping techniques which shut down reality testing by stopping negative thoughts and allowing only positive thoughts, including denial, rationalization, justification, wishful thinking, chanting, meditating, praying, speaking in tongues, singing, or humming.
While a lot of this does not apply, they don't do the chanting, meditating, praying, speaking in tongues, or singing or humming. They do deny rationalization. They do try and justify things that definitely cannot be justified. And they don't really do wishful thinking, but I'm still going to give this a 5 because they do try and give you ways to justify being a racist and justify harming other people because of your different ethnicity, which anyone who's not familiar with this group, they claim that not only are we different races, we are different species from anyone who's not white. They claim that the white race is the only actual human beings on the planet, and they use that to justify their hatred and racism.
Number 8, rejection of rational analysis, critical thinking, constructive criticism.
I am definitely going to have to go with a 13 on that. They will not at all ever take criticism from anyone who's not white. They view that as a flat-out attack or an act of war. Critical thinking is definitely lacking within this religion because they deny any kind of mainstream science or history and pretty much just try and subvert their own rejection of rational analysis. Well, that pretty much goes along with critical thinking in my book. They will not try and analyze anything other than their point of view. They don't care what anybody else has to say. They're right. And that's just how they see the world. We're definitely going to have to go with a 13 on that.
Number 9, forbid critical questions about leader, doctrine, or policy allowed.
And that's going to be the big one. That's going to be 21.
21?
Yeah, you do not question, anybody higher than you. You don't question the doctrine, and you don't go against their policies. If you do, there will be sanctions. As far as sanctions, that means you may have to do extra workouts. You're going to spend money buying books to distribute. You're going to be out on the street trying to recruit new members, and you are definitely going to be working until they tell you you're back in the good graces of the church. We're definitely going to go with a 21 on that. Questions are not allowed.
Number 10, labeling alternative belief systems as illegitimate, evil, or not useful.
Again, I'm going to have to go high on this one. I'm definitely going to say a 21. Alternative belief systems would, according to this group, be any other religions, anything that people try and do to maybe maintain, their health as far as like yoga or anything like that. They come from the enemy species, and that is not allowed. If you're not doing anything that comes from white heritage, then that's evil, and it's useless. You're supposed to put all that out of your mind. You're supposed to live by this religion, by their diet, their exercise routines, and nothing but this religion. Again, they would throw in, if it's not for the white race, it's the ultimate sin. So I'm going to go with a 21 on that, because everything that's not labeled as creativity is labeled as evil and against the white race.
So number 11 is instill a new map of reality.
I've debated with this one for a little while. I'm going to say an 8, because while they do push this supremacist religion, at the same time, they do tell you to keep up with the news and just listen to what other races are saying and stuff like that. But at the same time, they want you to view it from a creative standpoint. They want you to see, you got to listen to what they're really saying. What they really mean when they say Black Lives Matter is white lives don't matter. And which we all know that's not what that means. This is the reality they want you to push, that all this is against us and against our race, and we have to fight back. So I'm going to go with an 8 on that, because they do tell you to keep up with current events, different things going on, but they do try and twist it at the same time.
What were you debating? Were you debating 5 to 8 or 8 to and 13?
8 to 13.
So that is the end of thought control. We got 2 21s and at least 3 13s and an 8 over there. I'm pretty, just going by the thought control, I'm pretty happy to call it a cult if you are. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I go as far as telling people not only is this a cult, I am actively trying to get the U.S. federal government to recognize this group as a terrorist organization.
Henrietta, who are you? What are you? How are you? Why are you? And all that jazz. Where can we find you and that?
I am the grumpy old dude. Again, you can find me here on YouTube. I do have a Patreon. All the links for my Patreon, Twitter, and everything else are in the About section of my channel. If you like what I do and what I'm about, please head on over here and give me a subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video.
And also the same for me. If you've somehow stumbled onto this video and you haven't subscribed to me, don't forget, hit the thumbs up video, subscribe, ring the bell, come join my Patreon, yada, yada, yada. You know the jazz. You know the jazz. Not the other word. After I did the calculations, which, to be honest, is a scary thought, I rounded it off to the closest Fibonacci sequence. It turned out to be an 8 in thought control. Because of the several 13s and 21s, this is clearly a cult. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that interview, and don't forget, don't give yourself the raw prawn. I just want to say a very special thank you to my wonderful patrons, especially my $10 Platypus patrons, Aided Furball, Lauren Hart, Amanda Bogue, and Ross Devereux. I just want to say a very special thank you to my $20 patrons, Ethan Stroop and Paul Butler. The previous 2 interviews I did with Edwina have been demonetized by YouTube, despite the fact that this is clearly not racist or hateful content. So the support I get from my patrons really helps me make this type of content, and for that I truly am grateful.